Hi, friends and family,
Welcome to Hope After Addiction
with your hosts, Katie Comer.
and Chelsea McLeod.
Hi, welcome to Hope After Addiction. We're so happy you've joined us today. How are you?
I'm well, friend. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Yeah.
We had the great thaw out.
Yeah.
I know we talked a little bit about it last week.
Yeah.
But it's now raining, so it's washed everything away.
Still flooding.
And now it's flooding. So it's fine. We're
and
fine.
60. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 60 degrees now. I don't know when you're watching this. You might watch this from 6 months from now, and it's like so hot. But right now, the weather is wild.
Mm-hmm. It's wild.
Because we were talking about last week how we had 8 inches of snow, and now it's 60 degrees. It's doing wonders on all of the sinuses. So
Yes, we're all sick.
we're fine.
Yep. It's all fine.
It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But today, we are excited. We were just talking about how we need to do this like a monthly thing.
Yeah.
But we did this a couple of months ago. But it's so important to talk about what God is teaching us. And so I just messaged Kelsey.
Hey, I still answer to that. I get called that a lot too. It's okay.
Have I ever called that to you?
No.
You just haven't said it?
No.
Wonder why I said Kelsey. I don't know. Anyway, Chelsea.
Typical thing.
I texted Chelsea and I was like, what about like what God's teaching us?
Yeah.
And so I think we might try to make it a monthly thing. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But
Fun
anyway,
name.
so we're going to talk about that.
Yeah. I'm
So
excited.
are you excited?
I am, because
I'm
it's the thing.
excited.
Like, we do topicals a lot, but like, we're real life people, and we just, we're here going through stuff, and
Yeah.
so it's fun to just get personal on that level.
Yeah. I think so too. So
Yeah.
do you want to start? We didn't talk about this. Do you want to start or do you want me to start? I don't mind. I'll start.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah. You go.
Okay. Kelsey. Okay.
You can call me that for the rest of the time.
Yeah, I know. Shoot. Okay.
No, don't let it
Anyway, so my word for the year was intentional when we went back and talked about what our words were. And I feel like God is really,
I'm telling you.
really, what's the word I'm trying to say? Like
Pushing it in,
pushing
shoving it in.
Yeah. So, but I think it's great because it has really taught me to be more intentional with my time with certain things. And so I have this friend group. We've been friends for a while, but we were talking about how we needed to be more intentional. It's funny because that was my word. I know. So that was God's way of like poking it at me, but being more intentional in the word and not making it a checklist.
Yeah.
And that's something I even said on the podcast.
Yeah.
Like I struggle sometimes because I'm like, okay, I need to open the word and I need to, and I think it leaves room when you're going through like a Bible reading plan, it kind of leaves room for it to feel like a checklist.
Oh, yeah. You
right?
checked your day off.
Checked my day off. And I just didn't want that. I wanted more of a genuine, authentic. I said that I wanted God to captivate my heart. Like it's like a desire to be in the word and not just a checklist. And I think we can get wrapped up into that in certain times in our lives and certain seasons in our life. And I feel like that's kind of been my season of, okay, I'm just checking it off. So anyway, my group of girls, we were talking about, let's go through a reading like plan together essentially and talk about what God is teaching you and what we're going through together. And so we message each other. We try to read around the same thing every day. And then what has God taught you in that time? We could be better, but we do it sometimes. And so, anyway, we are reading through the Gospels right now.
So just full.
So it is. It's meaty.
Meaty. That's a good word. Yeah.
It's meaty. So we're reading through the Gospels. And I feel like the one thing that I've taken away over the last few weeks specifically is a few things. One thing that I told them is just how simple the gospel really is.
That's good. We complicate
Because we
it.
do. We do complicate it a lot of times. And we feel like we have to earn so much. And by no means the way I grew up did I feel like I had to earn my salvation. But I think naturally, because we're human that we complicate things so much. And as I've been reading through the Gospels and what God has done in his life on earth, what Jesus has done in his life on earth, is he just made things so simple for us to understand. That it's just his love, that he died, he took it. All we have to do is accept and believe. Accept and believe. And I just think that sometimes I feel like naturally I have to do something to earn his love. And if I do something bad or sin, that God loves me less. And I think that going through these Gospels, it's just reiterated, no, you're perfect. And I accept you. You just have to run to me.
That's right.
And so I think the simplicity of the gospel has been kind of brought out. If you want to know more about that, please message us because it's the best thing. His salvation is. And so that's one thing. Also, we kind of touched a little bit about this on our last episode, but how important it is to share what God's done in your life. And that's something, as I've been reading through the Gospels and having his apostles follow him, and Jesus commanding, say, go out and teach what I've done. Teach this, perform miracles. I've ordained you to do this. Perform miracles. And so our modern day miracle that God has performed on us and our husbands and our marriages, that God has commanded us, just like his apostles, to go out and teach what I have done. And so I think that as I've been reading through the gospel, he's done so many miracles. I'm kind of in the miracle chapters where he's done a lot of miracles.
My favorites.
Right?
Yeah.
They're so fun. And he's done so many. The ones you always think about, healing the lame and the blind and stuff. But he does so many miracles modern day today.
All the time. And we don't see it. We don't believe for it, all the time.
And so I think, I keep saying I know as I've been reading through these Gospels and the miracles, God just impressed upon me, he's done a miracle in your life. Go out and tell others. And so it's just more of a charge and more of God saying, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. I ordain this. Go to the podcast and share.
It's so cool.
So I just feel like God has kind of charged us to continue what we're doing and to continue sharing with others the miracles, the modern day miracles that we see. You might not see somebody spitting in the dirt and rubbing it on somebody's eyeball, but he still does miracles today. And we have to trust for it. And he still could do that.
Yeah.
He still could do that all the time.
Yep.
But trust for it.
It's so good. I have had this human thought for many years, but if the Bible was still being written, what would our story in the Bible look like?
Ooh, that's good.
Like what in the Gospels, if God wrote like mine and Katie's stories and the miracles that have been in our life, could we fill it up with miracles? Yes. Not just with redemption of our marriage or our husbands. Like we've seen miracles.
Yeah.
Or our lives, like what apostles would we be? What disciples would we be? Like, would we be going out and sharing the gospel and the goodness of God? And so I have to often ask myself that. I'm like, what would the Bible write about my life? Would it glorify God?
I hope so.
I know. And so it's so cool to think about that. Yeah. Like, what impact would it have?
Yeah. And then just, that's like, obviously what God's teaching me through the Bible as I'm reading, but just again, reiterating the more intentional, I'm really trying to be more intentional with my time through the word and really digging into the word and not letting it be a checklist. That was one thing. Just taking care of myself. I feel like God's charged me to do that in this season. And just being more intentional with my time with my children, not looking at my phone, being like present with them. And I had a lot of practice this past week.
Yes, you did.
So God has made it snow for 8 inches so that I can practice my intentionality with my kids.
Yes.
So it's been fun.
For 7 days straight. Yes.
It was.
Yep.
It was a lot of fun, and God taught me patience through it. He's taught me, we got to try to build a snowman. That snow was
We tried to. It wasn't-
powdery.
Yeah.
It
wasn't
was
happening.
not very conducive to sticking together. So we had a lot of time outside. We sled. So I was able to practice being more intentional with my children. So I love them to pieces. So
Yes, putting it into play.
yeah,
I love that.
That's a little bit about what God's been teaching me. And what about you?
I love that. Well, it's been a crazy season.
Yeah.
Something we've held very close to our hearts, and Katie knows she's been a prayer warrior. But I get emotional. But
It's good.
I don't know why I'm emotional. Probably because I'm pregnant. No, but I'm holding another miracle child.
Congratulations,
thank you.
baby. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you.
It has been a scary 3 months, but I'm in my 4th month, so I'm almost halfway there.
Woohoo!
Halfway. Praise God, yeah. But it's been Luke 137, and the day I found out I was holding another miracle child, I went to Papa's devotional because y'all know how much I miss him and just wanting God's truth over this pregnancy. And it's funny because Zachariah and Elizabeth's story is my most favorite, and it's been my life story. What happened to be the verse that day? Zachariah and Elizabeth's story is God is God of the impossible. Luke 137. And so from that day, I was like, God, you are the God of the impossible. And you are holding this child. You have given me this child. And so it's been crazy because we thought we lost it in the beginning. Ended up in the ER for a day. But we didn't. And even the doctor said, she's like, I don't know why this is happening, but everything looks great. Everything's okay. And so, so it's crazy because like we talked about with you, God has shown me so many miracles in my life, so many, Jasper being one of them. My husband, I've seen my husband come back to life after overdose. I've seen so many miracles. And why do I still doubt? Why do I still question God's goodness and his faithfulness? And so it's been 3 months of really digging into my heart and a heart issue of, do I trust you? And I remember there's a couple nights just laying up in the middle of the night thinking about everything. And I was like, I told him, I think it was 2 different prayers. I said, if I could just touch the garment of your robe, if I could just touch the garment of your robe, I would. But do you believe that I would heal you?
Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah.
Do you believe that I would still be good and faithful to carry you through? And no matter what happens. And so it's been a month of just small background, but no doctors. I haven't had an OB for 2 months through all of this. So in all of my complications, I don't have a human to run to. I haven't had a doctor to give me answers or to tell me what's going on, or I've literally had to run to Jesus every single time. And so in the beginning, I wrote in big permanent marker on a paper that God is God of the impossible, and I hung it on my mirror where I wake up in the morning in my bedroom and said, that is what I look at every morning and every night. And so it's been definitely a dependence on God and not on human, because I've always been able to run to doctors and them give me answers or kind of explain. And it's crazy because the weekend I thought that I lost the baby, and this was, I guess, weeks after I had found out, a couple weeks, there was billboards, there was T-shirts, there was devotions, there was postings of God is God of the impossible. There was birthday cards with the front birthday card that said God is God of the impossible. And I was like, okay. Wow. You've shown me over, and complications continue to happen, but I still had to continue to trust him through it. And so
good.
It was just crazy, and it's been a faith building season for sure. The other thing that is a big lesson is even if I lose this baby, even if it does not come to be in my arms, you are still good. Another heart check, because did I believe that? Did I believe that if he took my baby that he was still good?
Was he still good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, one of my scariest prayers, and I prayed it over and over, I was like, God, your will be done, not mine. I don't know what you know. I don't see what you can see right now. And so it's full dependence of you are still good no matter what happens, and your will be done. Another lesson this past few months is one day at a time. In the aspect of where God tells us, like, don't go to tomorrow. Like, today is all you need. And today is grateful that you hold another miracle child. Like, be grateful that today is another day of pregnancy. And so that's hard because I'm a woman and I plan and I look to the future and I fear. And another one is just a team of prayer warriors. And like you talk about that often, but just having a team. I remember sitting in the ER and I just knew that there was just
surrounding you in prayer. It was.
And I believe in the power of prayer, and that is why I had thought I lost Jasper, and there were so many people praying over him. And he's the coolest kid ever now. And he's here.
So funny.
And so, but even if not, like, I have friends walking through like tumultuous times right now with pregnancy and losing pregnancies. And, you know, even if not, like, you are still good and you are still faithful, and you know what I don't know. And I have multiple babies in heaven. So there's that fear that I have to fight off all the time. But it has been a pure season of knowing that God is God of the impossible, no matter what happens. And he's been faithful and he's been good, but it's definitely been that heart check of, do you believe this though? Yeah. Do you believe that I'm faithful? Do you believe that I'm good? And just running to him, not humans, because it's so much more comfortable when we can get a tangible, like, medical diagnosis or a tangible whatever it may be. And even when I was having the complication that's continued to happen, and he said, I know you don't understand, but this is for a reason. I know you don't get this, but it is. And the complication does not make sense to any pregnancy. And I have gotten answers, and it does make sense now.
Good.
And so it's just so cool how faithful he's been, and just how deep he's taken my heart through this. And my word's been abide for the year. And so it is, it's abiding in this. It's abiding in his miracles. It's abiding in holding a pregnancy each day, because each day is a gift with this child. So it's been a crazy, emotional. John said when we were in the ER, he broke down because he was being strong for me when we learned everything was okay. And he's like, it's such an emotional roller coaster. And I was like, I know. So it's been a season, but God has been good and faithful, and definitely tweaking and digging into my heart to really see if I trust who he is and what he does.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
I'm so excited for you.
Excited.
I've been waiting for you to share it.
I know. We have kept it very close to our hearts. Very close to our hearts. So John has shared with many, many people. I have not, because it's just but we've kept it very close to our hearts, except for the people that have really prayed over us and for us. And for that, we were forever grateful. I have a time in my journal when I thought I was losing Jasper, and there was a specific prayer that was prayed over us. And I just don't doubt that is part of why he's here today.
And now you have a lot more people to pray for you.
That's right.
Right?
A lot more people.
Yes. Stop and say a prayer for Chelsea.
Yes. So, and praise God, I've made it almost halfway. So.
And baby number 2.
That's right. Baby number 2.
That is incredible.
So, yeah.
So lots of good wisdom. And whatever you're dealing with.
Yeah.
That Chelsea has brought to us. So thank you for sharing. Yeah. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing. I know you were excited and nervous to share.
I know. And that God, this is one story, but whatever you're going through.
Yeah, whatever you're going through.
God is
you can
God
apply
of
that.
The impossible. Yeah.
He is. He's the God of the impossible. And there's a song that my music pastor at our church, music leader, he wrote is You Hold It All. And as you were speaking, I was like, he holds it all.
Yep.
He holds everything in his hand. He
true.
made the universe with his hands. He made your baby to be perfect for you. And all these complications, he holds it all. And we talk about this all the time, how nothing is a surprise to God.
He's in the details.
These complications were not a surprise to him. But he wanted you to run to him.
It does.
And you all did.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful to see. It was hard to hear, because we knew that you all were hurting because you didn't know. Mm-hmm. But I'm so glad that he's seen y'all through that. So it's so exciting.
Yeah, and it's so good. And even like you said, with holding it all, I mean, I literally had to envision John with addiction as this little boy, and I would literally hand him into the arms of Jesus like a baby.
Oh, yeah.
And like when you say he holds it all, like not only is he knitting in my womb, but he is literally like holding your husband. He's holding your son. He's holding your spouse. He's holding your wife. And so he does hold it all. And so no matter what we're going through, what we're learning right now, God does hold it all.
He does.
And he's in the details. Every single one of them, every single millisecond, he holds it all.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Love that. Well, that's what God's teaching us.
Yeah.
So we'll come back with this. Maybe we'll do this once a month about, I think it's God teaches us stuff we talked about last week to share with others. Yep. And so that's our platform. And so I think that we might try to do that once a month.
I like that.
So yay.
Yeah.
Keep giving us updates.
Yes.
Yay.
I will.
All right. Well, we're so thankful that you've joined us today. We hope that you found some encouragement through what God's teaching us, and that you've been able to take and find, like I said, some encouragement today. If you are listening to this on YouTube, make sure you give us a like and a subscribe. If you find this on Instagram or Facebook, make sure you share it. That's how we get the word out that we even exist. Yeah. And if you know somebody that's really dealing with specifically a loved one with addiction, or if you just like our podcast, share it with them. And we hope that we can be an encouragement to them and to you. And we thank you so much for listening, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.